Okay, we're back here. Tell me about how you were born. Where were you born? How much did you weigh? If you can remember that far back.
I don't remember. Only being born in Logan. That's all I can remember.
I was born in Logan, in the Logan Hospital. I weighed 6 pounds, 12 ounces.
Any interesting stories about your birth?
My birth is when I was born, I had bright red hair. And my hair's not as bright now, but it was bright red hair. And my dad says, we're going to call her Penny. She's got the hair the color of a copper penny.
So how did you get named Patricia?
Because my dad thought about it and says, I better not name her after a 1-cent piece.
So where did you guys grow up, and did you like it?
I grew up in Smithfield. I grew up in the main street of Smithfield West, a half a block. I was about 12. We moved north of Smithfield, out on about 400 or 500 north, and bought a little farm there and had a little barn and a few acres, maybe 7, 8 acres, something like that. And so Dad got a herd of sheep and got a cow, and then I had a horse. Growing up, always wanted a horse, and finally Dad got me one, and I was quite young. And
How young would you say?
well, I was 12 when we moved out there, so I was a little older than 12. I started milking. Well, we had 2 cows at one time, but one wasn't too good of a milker, so I think Dad sold that. We just kept that one, and then we'd get Mother'd skim all the cream off the milk, and I'd make butter. Had a little churn.
Okay, Mom.
And the little lamp we've got downstairs in our basement is the lamp they used to shine as they milked the cows. Grandma's.
Yeah.
That's Grandma's.
Yeah.
That was Grandma Anna's.
So, Mom, where did you grow up, and what was it like?
My dad was really, really strict. Not strict as being firm and like that, but he made sure that we was busy and always doing things. Now, my friends, they'd get up in the morning and maybe wash the dishes, and they were ready to play all day. But my dad had an outline on a piece of paper, or he'd tell us in the morning what we were to do 3/4 of the day, and then the other 4th we could play. So the kids couldn't come on our lot, but my dad had a great big huge garden, and he had us weed this garden. And if we missed one weed, we had to go back and do 2 more rows. We couldn't miss any weeds. My dad was really particular. And that's one lesson that I was taught as a child is when you do something, do it well and be particular. Do it good.
Well, this is going to answer some of the things. Is what were some of the chores around your house? What did you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had the barn and that, and I'd milk the cow and feed the sheep, and then I had a paper route, probably right around 12, so I passed papers 7 days a week for the Herald Journal, and that one winter, it was so much snow it was hard to get around on the bike, so I used my horse, and my horse knew right where to lope, where to walk, and on good heavy porches, I'd take it right up on the porch and knock on the door to collect the money. Wished I had some pictures of that. And I never got cussed out. People, they already paid me, I think, to get me off the porch. But yeah, that's.
And since then, I think you got cussed out for driving a 4-wheeler up, right? When you were raising your kids.
Kent Hobbs. He was the only one that cussed.
We'll exclude that out of this video, but Mom, I know you mentioned some of your chores. Do you have any other chores that you did too?
I was known to be the best bean picker in Cache Valley. All my friends would go cluster pick. They'd go for the clusters, and my dad taught me you don't cluster pick. You
Pick
you pull every bean that's ready. And I always, at the end of the day, ended up with more bags of beans, more poundage, because you got paid by the pound.
2.5 cents a pound.
I got usually more pounds than most of the ones that was picking. And I also picked raspberries and strawberries, and I worked as a car hop at TikTok.
Okay, so now do you guys have a close relationship with your grandparents?
I don't. They died when I was quite young. Did have my grandma Barnes come and live with us. Grandpa died a little before her, and she came and lived with us out north of town, and where I grew up, earlier in my life. So yeah,
How old was she when she passed away?
they was in the 60s, Grandpa and Grandma. I mean, here I'm going on 80, and you can see both Grandpa and Grandma, I think, were in their 60s. And that was about the average life back then.
Okay, Mom?
Now, I was quite close with both grandmas and grandpas. My grandpa died quite young, my grandpa Ross Skelly, but Grandma Ross Skelly lived to be almost 101. And I loved going up there. I loved Thanksgivings and Christmases. Well, Thanksgivings up there, because we'd get together and it was a big family and us cousins. We'd eat the dinner and then we'd all go to a show together. We just had a great time. My Grandma Morgan was, everyone says I'm like her, and I want to be like my Grandma Morgan. She was total fun. We loved her. She was the fun grandma that always had time for us.
Did you go to the Smithfield Theater?
Yep,
How much did you pay to go to that?
25 cents.
Well, they raised it then. I used to go for a dime. Because you're a little younger than me, so they must have raised it a little bit.
How much of an age gap is there between you guys?
About 4.5 years. Yeah, you could go that price till you was 10 or something, and so they'd ask you, you're 10 yet or 12, whatever. Well, that's when I went to a quarter.
Did you tell the truth?
I'm not talking about that.
We'll move on. Did you guys have any pets growing up?
No, I always had dogs. Yeah, I had one I got when I was working down in Ogden. No, that was before. Coon. We named this one Coon, and he always followed me around on my paper route. And he was just a young pup. And dogs is always coming out and trying to bite me. One actually bit through my tire on the back of the bike and took all the air out, sunk its teeth in there. So he got whipped a few times, but he got a little older. There wasn't a dog on my route, but he could take on and get him to holler uncle. He was a good hunting dog. He used him to hunt for pheasants and that. So,
Mom?
The pets I had growing
Yep.
up. We had rabbits. We had chickens. We had ducks. We had dogs, and we had cats. And I loved cats and dogs.
Did you have any particular, like one that you really grew close to?
I had the dog Ginger that grew up, and he was probably as old as me when I left home. He was a great dog. And I had cats that when they die, I just loved the cats so much I'd go all over town looking for them, and Mother and Dad would have to come out and find me. And some of them I think got taken, because one day the doorbell rang and there was my long lost cat I hadn't seen for about 8 months. I think he'd come back home.
and you rang the doorbell, huh?
Well, maybe they brought him back home. I don't know. The doorbell rang and there he was.
Any neighborhood games you guys would play?
What did we used to play? Kick the can. I can't. We had an old can and we kicked that around. And the other one we played up in the hills. One of my buddies, and over in the park where there's pine trees, and we'd choose up sides. You get the flag. What was it? Something about to put a flag. And
Capture the flag?
Capture the flag. And sometimes you got beat up pretty bad running through the trees and the brush and that. But yeah, we used to play that quite a bit.
Now, you're kicking the can. Was that the normal way that we play kick the can now?
Well,
It's where you'd run and hide, and they'd have to come and find you, and you'd sneak around, and if you could kick the can before they could
Oh,
find you,
that-
you won.
Is that the can that you're talking about? Okay.
It was a pop can.
How about you, Mom?
We played, our our house was the neighborhood house for playing games. We played any eye over. The kids could hardly wait till our work was done so that they could come and play games. Any eye over, we'd play hopscotch, we'd ice skate. I'm trying to think what else we did.
well, you did
Kick
a lot
the
of
can.
roller skating. You got to be pretty
We
good
roller skated a lot.
at the roller skating rink.
Yeah, I took lessons.
And you put on shows.
Oh, what kind of shows would you do?
Well, I took lessons. We started roller skating, and Mother saw how good Sue and I was, and so she enrolled Sue and I how to learn how to skate. And when we learned how to skate backwards and dance, and that we'd have like a dance review. We had a roller skating review where we had little costumes, and our pictures were up in the roller skating rink one day when one of you kids went there as a school, and you saw my picture up there.
And that was the roller skating ring in Logan, right?
In Logan.
And it's actually still there, just not in use.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of snow games did you guys do as kids? We talked about the ice skating, but we'll talk about the other ones now.
Snow games. Well, usually it was trying to get the best snowball you could and hit the other guy.
Well, how about throwing snowballs at cars?
Okay.
Is this something you were willing to
I
admit
didn't
to?
end up in jail on
He
this
was
one.
a naughty boy.
There in the middle of Smithfield, there was a building that used to, well, they had the bottom, they had different things. I can't remember, cafe, but up above there was a hotel at one time, and so there's different rooms up there. But we had a way to get up on that roof. It was 2 stories high, and right after a snowstorm, wet snow, 3 or 4 of me and my buddies would go up there, and you was there where you could throw it on the highway, go north and south, or where they turned and go west. They're down past the implement there. And so we'd make us a lot of snowballs, and the car would come along, and we'd just plaster that car, and they'd stop, jump out, run up and down behind the buildings there, and went and got the cops. And through the years, we was up there several times, and we never got caught, thank heavens for that. We had a lot of fun throwing snowballs, I'll tell you. But one time, when we was in high school, and our basketball team went to state, I don't remember how many of me and my buddies went up on Hotel Utah building. And it snowed, and we were throwing snowballs clear down on traffic down below, and finally we got run out of there. Probably was a good thing.
Well, I remember going up to Grandpa's school when I was in high school to a football game, and when we came out of the football game, of course, we beat them.
Logan.
They
Yeah.
shot us with eggs. They threw eggs at us.
I wasn't on
Did you get hit or did you get missed?
I got missed, but a lot of my friends got hit
No.
with eggs.
Who were your friends growing up?
Well, I had Wayne Mickle, Ted Facer, Howard Noble. Wayne Mickle was all in the same ward and the same age. So we kind of stuck together. Ozzie Eckersley, Orden Eckersley, he was in another ward. Tall, slim, good, just, he looked like he was starving to death, and he was taller than the rest of us. Randall Heaps, there's
Out of
quite a few.
that group, who was mostly the ringleader of the mischief?
Grandpa.
No. Well, I think we took turns on that. Whoever had the best idea.
Grandpa's not owning up to it.
Grandma, who were your friends growing up?
Well, we had kind of a group in our ward, Marcia Squires, Kathleen Raymond, Kathleen Bosworth. But my very, very best friend was Judy Niederhauser, and she moved away during my high school. And we still talk back and forth. When my dad was in the hospital,
In Ogden, because she
in
lives
Ogden,
down there.
she never missed a day coming to see him.
What was your favorite teacher and why?
What was his
Well, I
name?
remember the one I can remember in middle school, Jones, Mr. Jones. And he taught math, and he get somebody that didn't know how to invert the divisor, so he'd grab them and turn them upside down. That's how you invert the divisor.
The divider.
He was a big, strong guy. But you know,
James
you get the
Farley,
tension.
he heard the divisor.
Yeah.
So,
Mom, how about
And I
yourself?
can't remember his name, but it was my 6th grade teacher. And I just loved him, but I got to know him because he decided that he was going to form a band. And he taught us how to play harmonicas, and we went all over the valley performing it. And then it got so, because I knew how to play the harmonica and my dad did, we'd perform on our little Christmas party shows, and we just performed everywhere.
Could you still play a harmonica today?
It takes a lot of air, and I'm not too good at it.
I thought you was
But
full of air.
But I still have my big harmonicas.